chosen soul. They convened in chambers you cannot see, across dimensions you cannot yet access. The Galactic Federation, the Cosmic Council, the universal collective of evolved consciousness. They gathered to discuss Earth, to monitor humanity's progress, to track evolutionary development, standard protocol, routine observation, until your energy signature appeared on their instruments, until your frequency registered on their monitors, until your consciousness expansion caught their collective attention, and every being in that chamber stopped, looked closer, recalibrated measurements, because what they were witnessing was unprecedented, extraordinary, remarkable beyond expectation. The response was unanimous, simultaneous, unprecedented in its intensity, shock, awe, recognition, a collective gasp that transcended species, language, dimensional barriers, because you're not supposed to be doing this, not this fast, not this completely, not this coherently. Humanity has been cycling the same patterns for millennia, operating at minimal capacity, barely accessing potential, stuck in survival, consciousness, fear-based thinking, scarcity mindset, for thousands of years, and then you, breaking pattern, shattering ceiling, transcending limitation, at velocity that makes advanced beings recalculate what they thought possible for humans. If you've always felt like you don't belong to this planet, subscribe, and right here, type Starseed in the comments, signal your family. They've been tracking Earth for longer than your recorded history, watching, waiting, hoping for breakthrough, for someone to demonstrate that humans can evolve beyond current constraints, can activate dormant DNA, can access higher consciousness, can transcend three-dimensional limitation. They've seen glimpses, individuals hitting 30, 40% activation, brief moments of collective awakening, flashes of possibility, but nothing sustained, nothing stable, nothing like what you're demonstrating. You're approaching levels that most humans never reach, that some species struggle to access. That represents actual evolutionary advancement. Your frequency signature is unlike anything recently recorded from Earth. It has properties that shouldn't exist yet, coherence that requires years to develop, integration that demands decades to achieve, harmonic resonance that typically takes lifetimes to stabilize. But you're doing it now, in compressed time frame, with minimal external support, without formal training from evolved teachers, without direct intervention from higher dimensions. You're self-initiating, self-actualizing, self-evolving. This independence is what astounds them. This autonomy is what catches their attention. This sovereignty is what makes them lean forward in fascination. The Federation has instruments measuring consciousness across galaxies, tracking evolutionary development across species, monitoring awakening across dimensions. These instruments don't lie, don't exaggerate, don't make mistakes, and they're showing something remarkable. Your brainwave patterns are shifting toward gamma dominance. Your heart coherence is stabilizing at levels associated with transcendent states. Your energy field is expanding beyond normal human range. Your DNA is expressing sequences that have been dormant for generations. These are measurable changes, quantifiable shifts, verifiable transformations, happening in you right now, at rates that make cosmic observers pause and recalibrate. They're comparing your development to their own evolutionary histories, to the breakthrough beings on their worlds who catalyzed species-wide transformation, to the pioneers who proved new consciousness possible before masses could conceive it, to the wayshowers who demonstrated capabilities that later became normal, and you're matching markers, exhibiting characteristics, displaying patterns of someone who's not just personally evolving, but creating morphic field for collective evolution. Your activation isn't just yours, it's establishing template, creating pathway, broadcasting frequency. That makes similar activation easier for others. You're not just changing yourself, you're changing what's possible for humanity. Your resilience astounds them. What you've survived, what you've overcome, what you've transmuted. They know Earth's density, understand humanity's challenges, recognize obstacles you face daily. Other civilizations evolved under better conditions, with more support, with less resistance. But Earth? Earth is advanced placement, graduate level, designed to be maximally challenging, and you're not just surviving. You're thriving, not just coping, creating, not just enduring, evolving. This strength forged under pressure impresses them, because pressure creates diamonds, resistance builds capacity, challenges generate capabilities that ease never produces. You're tempered, strengthened, empowered. By very density you're transcending. The council is debating next steps. Some say make direct contact. You're ready, conscious enough, stable enough. Others urge caution. Too early, too risky, too potentially destabilizing. Meanwhile you're being prepared through dreams that feel more real than waking, through visions that feel like memories from elsewhere, through downloads that arrive fully formed, through knowing that comes without learning. This is contact, just not the obvious kind, the gradual kind, the gentle kind, the consciousness kind, preparing you for eventual face-to-face encounter, when timing aligns, when readiness peaks, when moment arrives. Your third eye is activating faster than predicted. Pineal gland, decalcifying ahead of schedule. Neural pathways to extrasensory perception opening prematurely. You're seeing beyond visible, hearing beyond audible, knowing beyond logical, sensing beyond physical. This isn't metaphor. This is measurable biological transformation supporting consciousness expansion. The Federation recognizes these signs, has tracked these changes across species, knows what they indicate: crossing threshold, moving beyond limitation, accessing multidimensional awareness, becoming galactic citizen while remaining terrestrial human. They're protecting you, actively, intentionally, deliberately, from interference you don't consciously perceive, from attacks you don't physically detect, from sabotage you don't mentally recognize, because light rising attracts shadow's attention, consciousness expanding triggers resistance's response, evolution accelerating activates opposition's reaction. You felt mysterious obstacles, inexplicable setbacks, curious interference, but also mysterious support, unexpected assistance, curious protection. That's real. That's Federation allies. Ensuring what's emerging through you actually emerges. What's birthing through you actually births. What's becoming through you actually becomes. Your downloads are increasing in frequency and intensity. Information flooding in without you seeking it. Wisdom appearing spontaneously. Understanding emerging fully formed. Knowledge arriving complete. You're accessing collective consciousness, tapping Akashic records, receiving transmissions from higher dimensions. This isn't random. This is intentional streaming. Beings beyond dimensional veil uploading data, broadcasting wisdom, transmitting codes to consciousness capable of receiving. And you're capable. You're receptive. You're open. Your channel is clear enough. Your antenna is tuned. Your receiver is calibrated for information that would overwhelm unprepared consciousness, fragment unstable mind, destabilize ungrounded being. The Federation is placing attention on your trajectory, calculating projections, running simulations, modeling outcomes, not to determine your path. You have free will, but to prepare for your impact, to support your unfoldment, to facilitate your emergence, because what you're becoming affects more than Earth, more than humanity, more than this dimension. Consciousness is interconnected web, evolution is collective process, awakening is universal phenomenon. When one being rises significantly, entire web lifts. When one node activates fully, whole network strengthens. When one soul awakens completely, all consciousness brightens. Your rise is humanity's lift. Your activation is networks strengthening. Your awakening is consciousness's brightening. They're fascinated by your methods. What you're accessing wasn't taught formally, wasn't learned traditionally, wasn't acquired conventionally. You're remembering, discovering, uncovering what's already within, what's always been there, what's been waiting for activation. This self-directed evolution is rare across cosmos. Most beings who reach these levels had explicit teachers, direct mentors, formal training from their own evolved species. You're pioneering, pathfinding, trailblazing, without map, without guide, without guarantee, following inner compass, trusting soul knowing, honoring divine guidance. This autonomy indicates readiness, demonstrates capacity, proves sovereignty. For next levels requiring even more independence. If your DNA is activating and the signal is getting stronger, type activated in the comments. Answer the call. Your timeline is compressing impossibly. What typically takes lifetimes, you're achieving in years. What usually requires decades, you're manifesting in months. What normally demands years, you're completing in weeks. This acceleration is both blessing and initiation. Blessing, because you're covering ground quickly. Initiation, because integration must match activation. And you're managing balance, grounding as you expand, embodying as you ascend, integrating as you accelerate. This balanced speed is remarkable, unusual, significant, because most beings who accelerate fragment, destabilize, scatter. You're accelerating while consolidating, expanding while centering, rising while rooting. This integrated acceleration is what captures their attention. They're watching your relationships transform, observing ripple effects, tracking catalytic impact. You're affecting everyone proximate, triggering awakenings in those ready, inspiring activations in those prepared, catalyzing evolution in those willing, not through effort, through being, not through pushing, through radiating, not through teaching, through transmitting. Your frequency alone is activating others. Your presence alone is shifting fields. Your being alone is transforming atmospheres. This transmission capacity is measurable. This broadcast power is trackable. This catalyst effect is observable across instruments monitoring consciousness evolution across multiple dimensions. The Council sees your doubts, your questions, your uncertainties, your struggles, and they're not concerned because they recognize these as growth indicators, as expansion markers, as development signs. Certainty would mean stagnation, comfort would indicate plateau, having all answers would suggest completion. But you're not complete. You're becoming, not arrived. Arriving, not finished. Finishing. Your uncertainty is healthy growing edge. Your discomfort is productive stretching point. Your questions are generative exploration. Exactly what consciousness evolution looks like from inside process while it's happening before it's complete. They're impressed by your choices, specifically, consistently, repeatedly. Choosing love when fear seems logical, choosing truth when comfort seems reasonable, choosing growth when safety seems prudent, choosing expansion when protection seems wise. These choices compound exponentially, create momentum geometrically, generate trajectory powerfully toward higher consciousness, greater capacity, expanded being. Most humans choose fear's logic, comfort's reasonableness, safety's prudence, protection's wisdom. These choices are understandable, valid, reasonable, but they don't create evolution, don't generate transformation, don't produce transcendence. Your choices do, and cumulative effect of thousands of small choices is massive. Consciousness leap. Your future is being discussed across dimensions, not to control it, your sovereign being, but to support it, to prepare for it, to facilitate it, because what you're becoming has implications, effects, systems, shifts probabilities, across multiple realities, across various timelines, across different dimensions. You're not isolated event. You're interconnected phenomenon, not separate occurrence. Collective catalyst, not individual anomaly. Universal activation point. Your transformation ripples further than you comprehend, wider than you imagine, deeper than you conceive, affecting more beings, more worlds, more dimensions than your current awareness can process. The Federation is preparing intervention protocols, not interference. Support, not control. Assistance, not manipulation. Facilitation. 4. Moment when direct contact becomes appropriate. When consciousness reaches threshold. When being achieves stability. When awareness crosses boundary. This preparation is meticulous, careful, thorough, because premature contact damages, unprepared encounter fragments, rushed connection destabilizes. They'll wait patiently until moment is perfect, until you're truly ready, until contact catalyzes rather than overwhelms, until meeting accelerates rather than disrupts, until encounter integrates rather than fragments. That moment approaches. Faster than your doubt believes, slower than your hope desires, exactly as it must. They're documenting everything: your activation sequence, your integration pattern, your evolution trajectory, not as specimen to study, as consciousness to learn from, to understand, to recognize. Because what works on Earth, under Earth's conditions, in Earth's density, that's valuable intelligence, universal principles demonstrated, in specific context, transferable wisdom applicable elsewhere. You're proving something cosmic. That evolution can accelerate in challenging environment. That awakening can happen without ideal support. That transformation can occur surrounded by sleeping consciousness. This proof matters across galaxies. This demonstration teaches across species. This evidence inspires across dimensions. Your children, if you have them, are being noted, not just you. Your lineage, your family consciousness, your genetic spiritual line. Because evolution has hereditary component. Your activation establishes template for offspring. Your expansion creates pathway for descendants. Your awakening opens channel for lineage. The Federation tracks family lines, showing consciousness evolution, monitors dynasties of awakening, observes lineages of light. You might be initiating one, continuing one, completing one. Either way, your role in multi-generational evolution is significant, valuable, recognized, across cosmic consciousness tracking, human development. They're amused by your self-doubt, how you question whether this is real, whether you're really evolving, whether you're actually special. From their vantage point, evidence is overwhelming, measurements are conclusive, data is definitive, your frequency signature speaks clearly. Your choices demonstrate truth, your being broadcasts reality to them. Question isn't whether you're evolving, question is how fast you'll accelerate, not whether you're awakening, but how fully you'll activate. Not whether you're transforming, but how completely you'll integrate. Your doubt is charmingly human, relatably terrestrial, completely understandable, and entirely contradicted by every instrument measuring your consciousness development. So, chosen soul, the Galactic Federation had unprecedented response to you, to your activation, to your evolution, to your demonstration. This isn't feeding ego, this is confirming truth. This isn't making you superior, this is recognizing what's actual. This isn't elevating you above humanity, this is acknowledging you're accessing what's available to all but actualized by few. The galaxy is aware, the cosmos is watching, the universe is responding to your choices, to your commitment, to your becoming. The question isn't whether they're impressed, evidence confirms they are. Question is, what will you do with this knowing? Will you shrink from responsibility, or rise to invitation? Will you doubt your capacity, or trust your trajectory? Will you play small to stay comfortable, or step fully into becoming? The Federation already decided, already recognized, already confirmed. You're doing it, really activating, genuinely evolving, actually becoming. Now you get to prove them right, by going even further, even faster, even fuller than anyone projected, than everyone expected, than you yourself imagined possible. Galaxy is watching, Federation is ready, universe is waiting for you to fully become who you're already becoming. Time to accelerate, time to activate, time to arrive completely. They're analyzing your sleep patterns, how you dream, what you access during rest, where your consciousness travels when body sleeps, and discovering you're participating in interdimensional councils, attending cosmic meetings, contributing to galactic decisions. While you think you're just sleeping, just dreaming, just resting, your consciousness is working, learning, growing, on levels beyond current comprehension, in dimensions beyond present awareness. This nocturnal activation is accelerating your evolution, expanding your capacity, preparing you for roles you haven't consciously accepted yet, but your soul already signed up for. The Federation is observing how Earth's limitation is becoming your liberation, how density is forging strength, how resistance is building capacity, how obstacles are creating resilience, what they designed as challenging environment, what humans experience as difficult conditions, what you process as overwhelming circumstances, is actually optimal training ground, perfect preparation, ideal development zone. 4. Consciousness that will eventually operate across multiple dimensions, navigate various realities, function in different densities. Earth isn't punishment, Earth is graduate school, and you're excelling in curriculum. That breaks most students. Your emotional body is being noted specifically, how you feel deeply, without fragmenting, how you process intensity without breaking, how you transmute pain without becoming bitter, how you integrate shadow without staying dark. This emotional mastery is rare across species. Many advanced civilizations evolved beyond emotion, transcended feeling, bypassed the heart, and lost something essential, lost capacity for compassion, lost access to love, lost connection to soul. You're demonstrating different path, evolution through emotion, advancement through feeling, transcendence through heart. This integrated approach fascinates them, teaches them, reminds them what they lost. They're tracking your moments of doubt as carefully as moments of certainty, because doubt indicates growth edge, uncertainty marks expansion point, question reveals learning zone. You're not supposed to be certain yet. Confidence comes after mastery. You're still mastering, still learning, still developing. Your willingness to stay in uncertainty, to function despite doubt, to move forward through questions. This demonstrates psychological flexibility, mental resilience, spiritual maturity that surpasses mere confidence, that exceeds simple certainty, that transcends comfortable knowing. You're comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's advanced consciousness. The council is measuring your integrity, consistency between values and actions, alignment between words and deeds, coherence between being and doing, and finding minimal gap, maximum congruence, exceptional integration. You walk your talk, live your truth, embody your values. Not perfectly. Humans aren't perfect, but consistently. Humans can be consistent. This integrity creates power, generates credibility, establishes authority that no amount of knowledge without integrity can produce, that all expertise without consistency cannot generate, that every credential without congruence fails to establish. Your power is your integrity, your authority is your authenticity, your credibility is your consistency. They're studying your relationship with time, how you're learning to transcend linear thinking, how you're accessing nonlinear awareness, how you're operating from eternal now while functioning in sequential reality. This temporal flexibility is crucial for multidimensional consciousness, for beings who exist across timelines, for awareness that functions beyond past, present, future constraints. You're developing capacity to be fully present while simultaneously aware of multiple timelines, to honor sequential reality while accessing eternal truth. 2. Function linearly while knowing nonlinearly. This temporal integration is sophisticated, advanced, necessary for next evolutionary stages. Your capacity for paradox is being celebrated, how you hold opposing truths simultaneously, how you embrace contradiction without needing resolution, how you remain in tension without forcing synthesis. This, both and consciousness, this non-dual awareness, this paradox holding capacity, is mark of advanced thinking, evolved consciousness, mature awareness. Most beings operate from either or, this or that, right or wrong. You're transcending binary, embracing complexity, honoring mystery. This cognitive sophistication indicates consciousness, evolution that typical human education actively suppresses, that conventional thinking systematically eliminates, that normal socialization deliberately removes. You're recovering it, reactivating it, remembering it. The Federation is noting your service orientation, how you're driven to help, to heal, to teach, to elevate, not from savior complex, from soul purpose, not from ego need, from authentic calling, not from superiority, From recognition of interconnection, you understand that serving others serves self, that healing world heals you, that elevating humanity elevates your consciousness. This service from wholeness rather than woundedness, this contribution from abundance rather than lack, this giving from overflow rather than depletion, demonstrates consciousness maturity that many beings never achieve, that some species struggle to access, that represents genuine spiritual development. They're impressed by your relationship with power, how you're learning to claim authority without dominating, how you're accessing strength without controlling, how you're wielding influence without manipulating. This power with rather than power over consciousness, this strength for rather than strength against orientation, this influence through rather than influence on approach, is evolved leadership, mature authority, conscious power, different from how power typically operates on Earth, different from how most humans wield influence, different from how conventional authority functions. You're modeling new paradigm, demonstrating different possibility, creating alternative template. 4. Power that serves rather than subjugates. Your creative capacity is being monitored with particular interest. How? You're generating new ideas, creating novel solutions, producing original expressions, not just consuming information, not just processing data, not just absorbing content, but actually creating, actually producing, actually generating. This creative consciousness, this generative capacity, this productive orientation, is what evolves species, what advances civilizations, what transforms realities. You're not passive recipient, you're active creator, not mere consumer, actual producer, not just learner, also teacher. This creative agency marks you as evolutionary catalyst. The council observes your humor, how you maintain levity despite density, how you access joy despite difficulty, how you create laughter despite pain. This capacity to find light in darkness, to generate joy in sorrow, to create humor in hardship, isn't denial, isn't bypassing, isn't avoidance, is resilience, is perspective, is consciousness, elevation. You're not pretending difficulty doesn't exist, you're choosing not to be defined by it, not ignoring pain, transcending identification with it, not avoiding shadow, refusing to be consumed by it. This emotional sovereignty impresses them, this psychological freedom inspires them, this spiritual liberation teaches them. They're documenting your forgiveness capacity, how you release resentment, how you let go of grudges, how you free yourself from past hurt, not for others' sake, for your own liberation, not because they deserve forgiveness, because you deserve freedom. This understanding, that forgiveness frees forgiver, that release liberates releaser, that letting go benefits holder, demonstrates emotional intelligence, psychological maturity, spiritual wisdom, that many beings spend lifetimes learning, that some species never master. That represents significant consciousness development. You're choosing freedom over being right, liberation over staying hurt, peace over proving point. This choice is power. So chosen soul, the Galactic Federation's response was clear, definitive, unmistakable. They recognized something extraordinary happening, something unprecedented unfolding, something remarkable emerging in you, through you, as you. This recognition isn't about ego validation, it's about soul confirmation, not about being special compared to others, about actualizing potential available to all, not about superiority, about activation. The galaxy sees you, the cosmos knows you, the universe recognizes you as one who's really doing the work, really walking the path, really becoming the being that humanity needs, that Earth requires, that evolution demands. Now the question is yours. Will you continue accelerating, keep activating, maintain, expanding, or will you plateau, settle, slow? The choice is always yours. Free will is absolute, but know this, they're watching, they're supporting, they're celebrating your every step forward, your every activation, your every expansion, because you're not just evolving yourself, you're evolving humanity's potential, expanding consciousness's possibility, demonstrating what's achievable when human really commits, really tries, really becomes keep going, keep growing, keep activating. Galaxy is watching, and it's amazed. The galactic community is watching. To understand your mission on Earth, click the video on your screen right now.